the Halloween Gambit. I'm feeling funny. I don't know. Something is different. And about the Halloween Gambit, the origin of this name is interesting. This has been created, the name has been created by a German player named Stefan Jacob. And according to him, this gambit is so frightening that when you play, your opponent will be completely afraid of you, because this is played on a 4 nights game. And after that, I'm feeling badly. And after that, you will attack with everything you have. So let's be happy. And let's start with our Halloween's Gambit. So, okay, this is a very interesting opening, and we start with the 4 nights game. So, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and after knight c3, black will play knight f6. And this is the most boring game ever. But, yeah, we want to smile a lot. So, knight takes e5. This looks pretty and looks good. And why is this good? Well, first we will see, of course, the first column is the chess-based column, and the second one is the opening 3 column. It's just interesting to see that the chess-based column has higher percentages that the opening 3. So this means that on classical games, they win most than on Blitz or even rapid games. It's kind of weird, but interesting to know. And well, the most common variation is bishop d6 will be the first approach we will see. Of course, after knight takes, and after knight takes, and of course d4. And the most common approach is bishop d6. The second one is bishop b4. Then we have knight g6 or knight to c6, and finally queen e7. And well, this is an opening that is very risky, of course, but if you don't want to take risks, please don't play chess. Play another thing, golf, ping pong, this kind of stuff. And well, let's go to our first variant, but before that, did you know that almost 87% of the viewers isn't subscribed? Why don't you like me? I'm a great person and I need your help. So to help me, you just need to do a simple thing. Please subscribe. It's free, it's simple, and you will become a chess master because of that. So you just need to click on the button and your level will improve a lot. Of course, you will be giving a very big help if you push the notifications on, if you click on the like button, and any critics, suggestions. Do you want to talk with me? You can always put something on the comments or talk with me by chess.com. Nickname dark_attack. Please talk with me today because I'm feeling very funny. I don't know what's happening with me. But well, let's go. So our first variation is the bishop to b6. So after that, we need to think what is the best approach for white. Well, of course, you're on the correct channel, because here we attack. We aren't afraid of anyone. They are afraid of us. So because of that, of course, if pawn takes, they will take with the bishop. And we don't want to give counterplay for black. So for this reason, I will ask you to play f4. f4 is pretty... why is that? Because we are threatening to win always the piece. We are controlling the center, And black needs to answer, so this means we have the initiative. So this is already very complicated for black. So after, for example, knight to g6, of course, we will advance the pawn and we will win the material back. So here, black, in my opinion, can continue with probably queen e7, but the most played move is bishop e7. We can see later, but here after bishop d3, in my opinion, this is already better for white. For example, knight to h to try to increase the pressure. This is just a blunder, and if the knight goes to g8, well, black is underdeveloped, so we can castle. And even though the bishop can go anywhere, for example here, we can play knight d5 and we are always improving our position. Yes, we are losing by 2 pawns, but it doesn't matter. We will win this game. So according to the computers, we have almost 0.7 of advantage. So yeah, this is good for white. So but this line, in my opinion, is good. If black plays bishop e7, yeah, no problem. Here we can play f5, why not? F5, and we are all threatening to take another piece. And the most important thing is that we have the center, we are creating problems to our opponents, and we are happy. And you want to play chess with a smile in your face. And if you play at the Halloween, please be happier, because you can do whatever you want. Sack a knight, sack a bishop, sack everything and give checkmate. It's simple. So after knight g8, this is just too complicated for black. We are developing pieces and black isn't doing nothing. So for example, knight h4 and okay, queen g4. This is a very big party for the white pieces. So the first variant, as you are seeing, is too complicated, because after this f4, black will lose. I don't have any doubts of that. Okay, after, for example, knight c6, pawn advances. Yes, black can play something different, like bishop e7 again. But okay, the difference is that the knight is not being attacked. But yeah, okay, we are going to take, bishop takes, and d5, and we have the center. We are creating pressure, we are creating problems, and the material is even. We aren't losing by nothing. So I love the white's game. So let's jump to our next variation. So our next variation is this one, is bishop b4. And okay, talking about the results, on classical games, white wins everything. Always, sorry. And everything, okay. And here, I will suggest just to take. And after pawn takes, of course, the knight will take on e4, because that's the main reason to play bishop to b4, because the knight is pinned. So after that, okay, we can continue with, for example, queen g4. And I don't know, but this is spooky for black, because what will they do? Of course, if they castle, we will take the knight. And if they take with the bishop, okay, I will take with the pawn. And of course, the knight is being attacked and the pawn is being attacked. Of course, this isn't a move because the bishop can take. So after, for example, d5, we take. And yes, this position is completely won for white, because the black's king will not be secure anywhere. We will be running after him. And but this variant, it's finished. So talking about the other alternative, knight takes, of course we will take the bishop, because this maintains the initiative for white, and because of the fact that this knight needs to play. So after, for example, knight to d5, we play queen to g, and okay, everyone will be afraid of you when you play queen to g4, sorry, and will castle, probably. And after that, you're won. Bishop h6. Why is this good? Simple, because the pawn is controlling the f6 square, and yes, this is over, because after g6, bishop takes, and we are winning by 2 clean points. So it's quite easy to win with the Halloween Gambit. So next variation. Talking about the variation with the knight to g6. This one is critical because, in my opinion, this is the best approach for black. And instead of playing regular things, we will need to control the center by some way. How can we do that? Simple. First, we will advance e5. Then, after knight goes back to g8, we will play bishop to c4. Here, if you want, you can try to do a riskier move. So h4, h5 probably is completely playable. But the thing is that, okay, here, if you play h4, he will play d5, and he will try to create counterplay on the center. So because of this, I will recommend bishop c4. And after that, okay, probably knight is a very big blunder because you have queen f3 creating problems on f7, and after d5 takes, and okay, you're won again. But okay, let's be fair. No one will play knight to e7, I think. So because of that, probably here, I think most players will play d5. And after that, of course, bishop takes. This is considered one of the refutations for black. But okay, you have potential, because here the main idea is to develop the knight winning a tempo, because you have sacked the pawn. So after this, we will play bishop e4. And the thing is that the black's king is still in the center, and because of that we have potential to attack. So after that, for example, the most interesting move for me is bishop to f5. Here, yes, you can try to take material, but it's complicated because black is giving up material to compensate the lack of development. So instead of this, you can play queen to d3. And the idea is bishop takes, queen takes, and we are creating pressure on this pawn. And after c6, here we will continue with h4. Let's go to the party. Here, if, for example, black plays h5, bishop g5, and okay, we have some compensation for this this pawn we are losing right now. In my opinion, I prefer this position for white again, because we will castle queenside and we will try to play, of course, d5. So I think this is interesting. So let's go to the next variation. The next variation is with knight c6. And this probably will happen a lot if you're under 1500 or 1400, something like that. And okay, if this happens, of course, we will advance all the pawns, and we will create a lots of damages to the black's game. So pawn advances, knight to e5. Pawn advances, knight to g6. Okay, here you have two alternatives. You can advance e5, in my opinion. Yeah, why not? Or you can try queen f3. Yeah, if you can advance the pawn, why not? Let's advance the pawn. I think this is completely playable. And knight g8. And what have you accomplished? Well, you have sacked a knight, and you already developed 3 pawns and a knight. And your opponent just has developed a knight. So because of this, this is completely playable for white, in my opinion. According to the computers, okay, black has 0.5 of advantage, but I think it isn't enough to guarantee a win. So, okay, after, for example, d6 probably is the best move. I've saw several different strong players, several different games where white has won with violence after playing d6. And for this reason, I will recommend you to play d6 because it's very, very, very interesting, and you will be very happy to play this because after pawn takes, of course, if bishop takes, the queen will take back. And the other alternative is just to play. Here, I will recommend two different approaches. The first is just to play queen e2 because the king has some problems. And the other one is knight to b5. Here, the idea when black plays queen to f6 is that he is pushing another piece to attack the d6 pawn. So for this reason, okay, talking about the positional play, queen e2, it's the best move. But knight b5 is the move that the best players do on this position. Why is that? Simple. It's too easy to commit a blunder on the black's position. Why is that? Because I'm trying to give a double check. And a fork, sorry. And I will win the rook. So because of this, the most common approach is just to play king to d8. And after that, we will develop the bishop, creating problems to the a7 pawn. If you put this on the engine already says this is completely playable for white, 0.5 for white. And we are losing by 2 points. We gave up the knight on the opening. So because of this, well, the best move is knight h6. No one will play that. I think no one will play that. Everyone will play this kind of stuff or this kind of stuff. Of course, if b6, we can play queen f3 and this isn't looking very well for black. And if black plays, for example, a6, yeah, bishop check. The life is beautiful. And okay, I've saw at least 3 games with that finished with this position, and of course they resign after this because the queen will fall. So yeah, sad end to the queen. But okay, this is very, very interesting. But okay, if you want to play a different variation, you can always play queen to e2. It's more correct. Here, black will continue with king again, and the difference is that we will play knight to e4. So why is this better? Because we are playing on the center, we are creating problems, but in my opinion, it's complicated because here they can try to take on f4. White is better because we have queen f3 creating problems to the knight, but the idea is that after knight plays here, we are threatening to take the queen. So for this reason, this is complicated for black, but the thing is that exists knight takes, and after bishop takes, we are still losing by 1 point. And for this reason, probably the other variation is riskier, has some problems, but you will win lots of games. Well, last variation. So our last variation is queen to e7. And okay, queen e7 isn't very normal, in my opinion. It's a positional approach. Of course, we will need to take, and after queen takes, we aren't losing by nothing. And because of that, let's attack f4, because we are creating problems to the center. And after queen plays to e6, we will continue with bishop d3 to guarantee that this pawn will not fall. Sorry. After d5 probably is the best approach for black. We will advance the pawn, we will create problems, we will try to maintain the initiative, and after knight to g4, I think is the most aggressive approach for black. Here we will attack the knight. After knight h, castle kingside, queen check, and king to h2. And in my opinion, if you look to this position, white doesn't have any problem at all. Why is that? Because we have two pawns. One of them is on the center, the other is on the extended center, and black just has one pawn to defend these 2 pawns. So for this reason, you can exchange material and you can try to play for the endgame. So I think this is very interesting. So About alternatives, well, I think we don't have any, because after takes, okay, the queen can play to a5 to try to create pressure to the pawn, but it's easy to defend. You can continue by several ways. For example, bishop d2, and if knight takes, of course, knight takes. Queen d3, queen d4. Probably queen d4 is most interesting because it's different. Here you want black to play bishop to c5, because after that you have queen e5. That's the main idea of this move, because the bishop cannot go here because you will win the queen. And after, for example, moves like that to try to push the rook and try to create problems to the central pawn, you can play just queen g5. After, for example, rook e8, yeah, you play e5, and okay, you aren't threatening the knight because the pawn is pinned too, because of the presence of the rook. But yeah, I think white doesn't have any problem. For example, h6 probably will lose because of this move. And again, in my opinion, white is completely better. The white's game is very, very good. We are threatening things, and we are creating pressure. We are attacking the king. This king is on the center, will not play castle queen side because already played. So I think this is too good for white. So for today, it's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. And about the opening theory, if you want, I can do later several videos about each of these variants, talking in detail about these variants. Don't forget, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe, push the like button, everything. Thanks a lot for all the help and the support you are giving every day to the channel. And my eye is already without makeup, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're enjoying the shorts too. If you've seen this video until the end, thank you a lot. It's because of you that I create every day new videos. So happy Halloween to everyone, and tomorrow we will be here again to talk more about chess. Till tomorrow. Bye bye.